So the tricky thing is, hello stampers, it's the Pampered Stamper. And the tricky thing is when you go live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time, the platforms don't always cooperate. So Facebook was fine, but YouTube told me I was logged out and had to log in. And yeah, anyway, it's all rolling. And today you get a bit of a bonus because yesterday there was a snafu with the recording of the video for the parcels in the post. So the video on YouTube started halfway through my first card. Well, that's a real bummer. And I did waste some negative energy on that, I'm ashamed to say. So you know what? Stuff just happens and you have to roll with it. I think we've learned that in the last 2.5 years. So I thought I will see this as an opportunity and I'm going to show you again how to make that quick and easy card. So we're going to do that before I stamp through my stash. Okay, so stick with me because the stamping through my stash card is pretty freaking amazing. Okay, so this is the card that I made yesterday, but you got to miss out on because I started right when I was making this saying. So most of the card was already together. So let's get started, and I've decided I'm going to show you how to make that die from Encircled in Warmth. So here is the Encircled in Warmth stamp set. And we're actually not using any of the stamps in here today, but we are going to use the dies. Now, not these. I took the ones out. This one goes over here. It's an absolutely fantastic set of dies, but I'm going to be using these two. Okay, so let's see how that works. Actually, I'm going to, we'll see if this die cutting machine fits underneath of here. It does. Okay, so I have a piece of Sahara sand. Oops, I need this. So I need the base number 1, and then the thin die adapter number 2 and number 3, then the cardstock, then this die here. And it's the easiest, see this die only cuts out the circle and all that fancy stuff, but this die cuts out the edge. So I want to just lay that on there so that they both go. I want to try to make an even edge, but yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to put the second plate on top. Down we go, and now we're going to roll it through. Okay. And it's a bit of a squish, and everything is moving a little bit on my table. I have my laptop sitting on ice blocks because it overheats. Let me see if I can go it back the other way. Well, you know what? Do I have to do that? I do want to do that, yes. I like to send it back the other way as well because there's all kinds of little details in this thing, and I want them all to pop out nicely. Okay, so let's take a look and see what happened here. Take that away. For the person who was hoping to see my Otters card today, I apologize in advance. My Otters stamp set is in Canada, so I have to order another one here for the Netherlands. So you see how the circle popped out? And then we have this. Okay, now I'm going to show it to you also in black before I do anything else. Okay, so the Otters card will happen as soon as I get my set. If anyone in Holland wants me to lend theirs, then I can do it next week, but well, maybe next week my set will be in as well. So take a peek. Here it is in black. So what I'm going to do is I want the black circle, so we can do it like that. That looks really cool. I want my black circle in here, but all these little bits have to come out. So I just kind of do this. I give it a little bit of a squish and a squiggle. At home I have a brush and a foam mat that brushes all these little bits out. But this works too. It takes a little bit longer, but really it's not that fussy. I've had dies that are way worse for popping things out. So now I'm just taking my little pokey tool and giving them a bunch, just pop out the last little pieces. So it's not so bad. It's a beautifully intricate die. This one is available in our annual catalog, but the stamp set, the Encircled in Warmth, this one is going to be retiring. Okay, so you want to get that before it's gone. So the date for that, the expiry date is January the 4th. So Stampin' Up! Always keeps certain stamp sets only for a little while because paper crafters are notorious for wanting new product. And Stampin' Up! Simply can't keep all its offerings in the warehouse. It just doesn't work. Doesn't make business sense. So that's why certain things disappear after a little while. It also makes good business sense. It's, you know, a sense of urgency. It's the same thing when you go to the clothing store. If you see something and you really love it, you better get it because next week it might not be there. Same thing with paper crafting. Sometimes we complain about that, but that's really quite silly. Okay, so I'm hoping that everything is going well. I should actually, I still haven't learned, I should have had my other laptop open and checking to see if everything was going well. Here is my base. It's 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Okay, so that's the bottom. Then we have a piece of pattern paper, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have the other side of this paper. This is 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. And you know what? I am just going to take a minute and I'm going to open my laptop just to make sure that this is going, because you know what? If I do an hour-long video and it didn't work, guess who's going to be a very unhappy squirrel? It will be me. Let's have a look. And let's see, am I going live? Let's have a look. Let's see. The thing with my Chromebook is that it sometimes kicks me off the internet and then I can't tell if I'm live or not. Let's see. And I should turn the volume off on that so I don't hear myself twice. You know what? Let's see. It's not telling me that I'm on, so I am kind of worried. Is it not going? It says I'm live streaming. Okay, sorry about this, guys. It's really not fun to listen to me talking and not being aware of what's going on. Well, you know what? I'm just going to keep going and hope for the best. I don't really want to stop. And because this is really awkward when you're watching and then you don't want to miss out on anything. Let's see. However, I'm not seeing that I'm live, so this is really bothering me. I am going to stop. Oh gosh, it does say I'm live on both. So, you know what? I'm just going to hope for the best and see what's going on. All right. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. But Minicam tells me I'm live, so we're just going to keep going. All right. So this is going to go on first. It's really not a difficult card, but it's really fun the way it all comes together. So I'm using some liquid adhesive. And yeah, I need a full-time person that's here to, you know, kind of like an administrative assistant. Wouldn't that be great? I know. I keep telling Gerard he needs to retire from the greenhouse, except the problem is that there's way more money to be made in the greenhouse industry than there is with Stampin' Up! So I'm going to put this little piece across. Isn't that just so nice? A monochromatic card. It's just beautiful. You're seeing some shadows. It is another gray day here in the Netherlands. I can understand why animals hibernate. I can see that Dutch people might consider it. That's why it's so hard when Holland goes into lockdown. They've really made their public spaces super gezellig, really cozy, and with, you know, little fires and lights and heaters and blankets, and it's just wonderful. So this is going to go here, and then this is going to go right there. And you know what I need? I need my silicone mat and a sponge. And I'm going to grab that for a second because it's not laying on my table. Here's the card. Take a good look at that. And I have my silicone mat now, which is a start. I need a sponge. You make a little puddle. And I'm desperately eyeing around for my sponge. I forgot about this stick. You know what? I found one. It's a used one, but that's okay. So what you do is you take your fancy piece, make your flatten out your puddle, and then tap it all over. See, it doesn't matter that it's red. The ink is coming off. But thankfully this isn't vellum, so that's okay. Now you can see where the glue is, right? That's a bonus. Okay, so here we go. And it's gonna go, I wanna go up a little bit. And off to the side. There we go. Now this goes in the middle. We're almost at the point where I started my video yesterday. Who knows what craziness happened there? Needless to say, I'm so thankful. I must say, my followers are just the best. You guys followed me on YouTube. Nobody gave me a thumbs down. So now we're going to take the deer punch and this paper, and you slide the punch in, and then you see that little white border all around? As soon as you have your punch kind of the way you want it, clamp down, and then with 2 hands, you can punch out your deer. So here's my deer, and I want my antlers. Move that out of the way, and I'm really praying that this is working, okay? If not, I might take a whole week off and do nothing, just a mourn. Okay, so I have my deer, and now I want to put a glue dot on his head. Here we go. And I'm taking my deer. I don't know if you can see the glue dot there. It's getting so dark out here. And there we have the glue dot. And now, you know what? I kind of want one up a little bit higher on his head. There, I want it right near the top. That's better. Okay. There. Okay. So now the antlers. There's one. And there's the other one. Okay. So now the deer is going to go like so. We're going to pop them up with a couple of dimensionals here. And they are black. They do have a white backing. And I wonder, I thought I had my mini dimensionals. The black ones come in a set of 2 sheets of big ones and 2 sheets of little ones. And I think that's just going to fit. It does. Oh, perfect. And it anchors oh, I think that might be sticking up a little bit between his antlers there. Oh, well, it's not going to show because it's going to be on black. I'm going to do that like so. And now, do I have a little piece of Sahara sand for the saying? Let's have a look. I'm going to use this scrap, and I'm going to use the Stamparatus here. And here I have the Let's Celebrate, and we're just going to put it over here because I'm going to make it a little banner. So you lay your stamp where you want it to be, close your Stamparatus. Now, do you see I did leave a little mark because I hadn't cleaned it. That's okay. It's going to end up in exactly the same place again anyway. So ink it up and stamp. Well, it's not bad. The middle part's not as dark as I would like. That's better. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Let me grab my trimmer. This paper trimmer is absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to put it towards the bottom because there you have it. Now at the top, and we'll just trim off this one little rough end. And now I just want to cut a little banner in there. I did have my black scissors. Let's use those instead. They're a little sharper. I don't know how I got red on my scissors, but I did. So down the middle, and then from the corner to the middle. There. I didn't quite get there. That's okay. Now let's take a look at our card. Here we have it. I can put this like so, or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this one different. Here. Oh, I use different scissors. I use these scissors to pry something, and now the tip is bent. Don't do that. Only use your scissors as scissors. Do not use them as a screwdriver. Okay, you will ruin those beautiful sharp tips. There. There we go. So that can just get popped up. And I'm going to use a black one because I don't have, I'm going to use the edge here. My white ones are off camera and I just don't want to have to go and get them. There we go. And then all we have to do yet is put our ribbon on there. We'll tie our ribbon around. Here we go. How cute is that? And I'm just going to pretend, well, no, I shouldn't do that. Here we go. Let's tie a ribbon. Not going to pretend. I wasn't sure that my ribbon was sitting on the table. So when I tie, I always make sure that the part that has to be tied, that's not cut, is long enough to comfortably hold in my hand. And if it's long enough to comfortably hold in my hand, then it's usually long enough to do what I need it to do. Keep all your pieces flat, and then your bow should turn out just fine. And you know what? The more you do it, the better you get at it. And if you don't like tying bows, then don't. Just tie it a knot. That's okay. You can fiddle with it later as well to straighten it out a little bit. See? If you put your fingers in the loops there, give it a nice firm tug, pull down a little bit. You can trim a little bit more too. It helps when you fluff out your bows. So, oops, now my finger's stuck. There. I think the light's catching that quite nicely. Just want to move it towards the middle. And there we have it. So that's our card, and now we're going to stamp through my stash. Okay, hopefully I'm praying that this is all working. And now we're going to use this stamp set. I just had to have this stamp, and I haven't used it yet. My upline, my person who I signed up under, Carolyn Vanderstraten from Cato's Catches, she made some beautiful things with this. Now I took them with me to Canada, so I can't even show you them. But maybe I'll share a link with you later. But we're going to make a really cool card that I saw in the catalog here. Oh, you know what? I do. Here it is. This is the card that inspired me. And I thought, oh, that's easy. We have some really pretty paper that I also haven't used yet. So I'm going to show you the paper. And then I'm going to show you that it's not going to work because that paper isn't in there. So the paper is beautiful, if I say so myself. It's just gorgeous artistic paper. And this one is in the annual catalog. And it's just really neat. And it shows paper that's made with alcohol ink. And I'm going to show you how to do that with, oh, it's really funny. I'm going to show you how not to do it. And then I'm going to show you how to do it. It's just really, really, really pretty. Oh, actually, maybe they used this piece. I did all that work for nothing. Okay, I'm going to take that out. I missed that piece when I was looking through all this paper. Go figure. So it's really, really nice. I love paper, and it's so important to use it. So I'm going to cut this up, and there's a pretty gold stripe. So there's 12 sheets, double-sided. Okay? So now let's take a peek. We're going to use vellum. Now I did it first. I forgot, and I thought that this technique was on shimmery white paper. Well, is that not ugly or what? I sprayed and nothing happened. What I wanted to happen is this. See how cool that is? But you need to use vellum. So let's take a look. Before I do any stamping with this, I want to show you. Oh, I have to use white cardstock now that I bought here. And cardstock in Europe is a different size than in Canada, so it's not natural to me anymore. So I have to score at 14.9 centimeter, cut at 10.5. I already made a mistake with my vellum and I cut it wrong. I need another piece of vellum.